Music Publishing Masterclass, the difference between UPC, ISRC, and ISWC, and why it matters. If you are an independent artist, songwriter, or producer, you've likely encountered a dizzying alphabet soup of acronyms: UPC, ISRC, and ISWC. They look like random strings of letters and numbers, and honestly, they can feel like bureaucratic homework. But here is the hard truth. Ignoring these codes is the fastest way to leave your hard-earned royalties on the table. Think of these codes as the digital DNA of your music. Without them, streaming platforms, radio stations, and collection societies have no idea who to pay. In this masterclass, we are going to demystify the big three codes, break down exactly what they do, and show you how to use them to ensure every single stream puts money in your pocket. To understand these codes, we first need to clear up a foundational concept in the music industry. Every single track you hear consists of two entirely separate pieces of intellectual property. First is the composition, which is the underlying work. This is the DNA of the song, meaning the melody, the lyrics, the chords, and the arrangement. It is created by songwriters and composers, and it is represented by music publishers. Second is the sound recording, which is often called the master. This is the specific audio recording of that composition, the actual WAV file, and the performance captured in the studio. It is created by performing artists and producers, and is traditionally owned or controlled by a record label, or by the artist if they are independent. Why does this matter? Because the music industry issues separate tracking codes for the recording and the composition. If you do not understand the difference, you will only collect half of your money. Let us start with the largest container, the UPC, which stands for Universal Product Code. If you have ever bought a box of cereal or a physical vinyl record at a store, you have seen a UPC. It is the standard barcode printed on the back of a product. In the digital music era, the UPC serves the exact same purpose, just virtually. The UPC does not track an individual song. Instead, it tracks the entire product package. This means your album, your EP, or even a standalone digital single is assigned a UPC. Think of the UPC as a shipping box. If you release a 10-track album, that entire album gets one UPC. If you release a single track as a standalone release, that single product gets its own UPC. You do not need to apply to a government agency for a UPC. Your digital distributor will automatically generate a UPC for your album or single when you set up your release. Remember, if you re-release the same songs as part of a deluxe edition or greatest hits compilation later on, that new package will require a brand new UPC because it is a different product package. Now let us open up that shipping box and look at the individual songs inside. Each individual track needs an ISRC or International Standard Recording Code. The ISRC is a unique 12-character alphanumeric code that acts as a digital fingerprint for a specific sound recording. The ISRC belongs strictly to the sound recording and master side of the coin. It does not care who wrote the lyrics, it only cares about the specific audio file. Every single version of a song needs its own unique ISRC. For example, say you write a song called Neon Dreams. The original studio version gets ISRC number 1. An acoustic version you record later gets ISRC number 2. A club remix by a guest DJ gets ISRC number 3. Even a live concert recording of the song gets ISRC number 4. It is the same song, but 4 different audio recordings require 4 distinct ISRCs. When Spotify, Apple Music, or TikTok streams your track, their systems scan the ISRC. That stream data is sent to your distributor or record label, who uses the ISRC to route the master recording royalties directly to your bank account. If your ISRC is missing or typed incorrectly, the streaming platform will not know who owns the master, and your money sits in a black box of unclaimed royalties. Just like the UPC, your digital distributor will usually generate an ISRC for each track automatically and for free when you upload your music. So far, we have covered the product package, which is the UPC, and the audio recording, which is the ISRC. But what about the people who actually sat down with a guitar or a laptop and wrote the song? That is where the ISWC comes in. It stands for International Standard Musical Work Code. The ISWC is a unique 11-character code, usually starting with the letter T, that identifies the composition. It tracks the underlying melody, lyrics, and song creation. Unlike the ISRC, which changes with every new recording, the ISWC never changes. Going back to our previous example, whether Neon Dreams is streamed as a heavy metal version, an acoustic cover, or techno remix, all of those versions share the exact same ISWC. This is because the underlying song, the words and chords, remains the same. The ISWC is the master key used by performing rights organizations like ASCAP and BMI, as well as mechanical rights organizations like the Mechanical Licensing Collective. Whenever your song is played on the radio, performed live in a venue, covered by another artist on YouTube, or streamed on Spotify, it generates publishing royalties. These organizations use the ISWC to track down the songwriters and publishers to pay them. This is where many independent artists trip up. Distributors do not look after your ISWC. To get an ISWC, you or your publisher must register the song details, including the song title and the writer's names and split percentages, with your performing rights organization. Once the work is successfully registered, the Global Publishing Database automatically generates and assigns an ISWC to your composition. Now that you know what these codes are, let us talk about the masterclass secret that separates amateurs from professionals, which is metadata linking. Imagine a bridge. On the left side of the river is your ISRC, your recording metadata. On the right side of the river is your ISWC, your publishing metadata. For years, these two sides did not talk to each other very well. When you upload a song to a distributor, they ask for the track name and artist name, and they give you an ISRC. But they rarely force you to input an ISWC. Meanwhile, when you register a song at your performing rights organization, they ask for the song title and writer splits, and they give you an ISWC. But they do not always know what the final audio recording sounds like or what its ISRC is. When a song is streamed on Spotify, Spotify reports the ISRC to the publishing collection agencies. The collection agency looks at their database and asks which ISWC is linked to this ISRC. If you have not linked them, the agency will not know who wrote the song playing on that recording. The mechanical and performance publishing royalties get thrown into a metaphorical black box. After a few years, if no one claims that money, it gets distributed arbitrarily to the top grossing artists in the world. You are literally funding pop stars with your unclaimed indie royalties. This gap between the ISRC and the ISWC is not just an administrative headache. It is actively weaponized by savvy investors and predatory record labels. Imagine this scenario. You have been an independent artist for 5 years. You have built up a catalog of 50 songs. They are doing okay getting some passive streams, but you are tired and you need a lump sum of cash. A boutique record label or an indie catalog buyer comes along and offers you $20,000 to buy your entire master catalog. To you, that feels like a win. You sign the contract and hand over the masters. Here is what is happening behind closed doors. The label looks at your data and realizes that while your ISRCs, your masters, are generating some money, your ISWCs, your publishing, were never registered or never linked. They know that you, like 90% of independent artists, did not know about the publishing side of the coin. When they buy your catalog, they do not just take over the masters. They immediately hire a data administrator to clean up your metadata. They map your ISRCs to the correct ISWCs, register themselves as the publisher, and suddenly they unlock an entirely hidden second revenue stream that you never even knew existed. They did not just buy your masters for a fair price. They bought a broken machine, fixed it with 2 clicks, and doubled their investment on day one using your songwriting royalties. They underpaid you because most artists never know about the existence of the ISWC, and record labels know that. Basically, what they pay for is only half of the income, and they can actually earn the other half completely for free. You end up selling off your entire collection of music for just a few pennies. How do you prevent this from happening? You become a master of your own metadata. Here is the step-by-step workflow every independent artist should follow for every single release. Step 1. Write and register the work. Before the song even hits a streaming platform, log into your performing rights organization and register the song composition. Enter your co-writers and your split sheets. This will generate your ISWC. Step 2. Set up your distribution. Upload your audio files to your distributor. They will generate your UPC for the release and your ISRCs for the individual tracks. Set your release date at least 3 to 4 weeks out. Do not rush your release. Step 3. Fetch and match your codes. Once your distributor processes the release, go into your distributor dashboard and copy the newly generated ISRC codes. Step 4. Link the ISRC to your performing rights organization and the mechanical licensing collective. Log back into your publishing accounts. Find your registered song work, edit the details, and paste the corresponding ISRC into the recording field. By pasting your ISRC into your publishing account, you have officially built the bridge. Now, whenever that specific audio file is streamed anywhere in the world, the tracking system will instantly know exactly which composition it belongs to, and your publishing royalties will flow seamlessly to your account. But what happens if you look into your accounts right now and realize your past music is already a tangled web of missing codes, or worse? What if a label has already bought your rights and you suspect you were deeply underpaid? So how do you actually audit your existing catalog and claw back every single dollar that belongs to you?